There is something about you that cannot be taught, copied, or explained away. When you enter a room, conversations shift. When you sit in silence, the atmosphere changes. You don't have to announce who you are, because your presence speaks before your lips ever move. This is not confidence learned from books, nor charm borrowed from personality. This is divine attraction. It is the quiet authority that comes from alignment with purpose, and people feel it without words. You may have noticed that some are drawn to you without knowing why. They feel safe around you, yet exposed, comforted, yet challenged. Your presence carries a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see themselves clearly. This is why your energy attracts and unsettles at the same time. Light does not ask permission to shine, it simply reveals. And when you walk in truth, truth responds through you. When you carry divine alignment, your presence speaks before you ever open your mouth. There is an unseen language flowing through you that people perceive instinctively. It is not something you learned, practiced, or perfected over time. It is something that awakened the moment you chose truth over comfort and purpose over approval. This is why your energy enters a space first. Before names are exchanged or words are spoken, something shifts. People feel calmer, more alert, more exposed, or even slightly unsettled, and they may not understand why. That reaction is not about personality, it is about presence. Divine presence is not loud, dramatic, or attention-seeking. In fact, it is often quiet. It carries a stillness that interrupts noise. While others rush to be noticed, you remain grounded. And that grounding creates authority. Authority does not come from volume. It comes from alignment. When your inner world agrees with truth, your outer presence carries weight. People listen differently around you. They pause. They reflect. Even those who resist you are responding to something they feel, but cannot explain. Your presence is attractive because it is authentic. There is no performance in it, no hidden agenda, no desperate need to be accepted. That authenticity creates safety for some and discomfort for others. Those who are ready for growth feel drawn toward you, as if being near you helps them breathe more clearly. Those who are avoiding truth may feel irritated, intimidated, or defensive without knowing the reason. This is not because you are doing something wrong, but because light naturally exposes what is hidden. You may have noticed that people project onto you. Some see strength, others see threat, some see peace, others see judgment. Even when you have spoken nothing. This happens because your presence acts like a mirror. It reflects back what already exists within them. You are not responsible for their interpretation. Reflection is not accusation. Awareness is not attack. Yet many confuse being seen with being judged. There is a reason you often feel different, even in familiar spaces. Your spirit does not blend easily with environments built on pretense. You can sense when something is off, even if no one else acknowledges it. That sensitivity is not weakness, it is discernment, and discernment sharpens presence. The more you trust it, the more refined your energy becomes. You stop forcing connections. You stop over-explaining. You allow alignment to speak for you. Your presence does not chase attention, but attention finds it, not because you seek it, but because truth is recognizable. Even silence carries clarity when it is rooted in purpose. This is why sometimes your quiet moments are more impactful than your words. This is why people remember how they felt around you more than what you said. Feeling is the language of the soul, and your presence speaks it fluently. There will be seasons when you question this gift, especially when it leads to isolation. Not everyone can walk comfortably beside someone who carries depth, but solitude is not rejection, it is refinement. The fewer distractions around you, the clearer your presence becomes, and clarity increases attraction, not to everyone, but to the right ones. Understand this deeply. You do not need to convince anyone of your value. You do not need to dim yourself to make others comfortable. Your presence is divinely calibrated. It will reach who it is meant to reach, challenge who it is meant to challenge, and bypass who is not ready. Trust the language you carry. It was designed to be felt, not explained. Your energy carries truth louder than words, and this is why people feel you before they understand you. There is a frequency within you that does not rely on explanation, persuasion, or performance. When you are aligned with purpose, your spirit communicates on a level deeper than language. People sense sincerity in you, even when you remain quiet. They recognize depth in you, even when you speak simply. This is because truth does not need decoration. It resonates on its own. You may have experienced moments where your presence shifts the mood of a room without effort. Tension softens, conversations slow down, or awareness sharpens. This happens because aligned energy stabilizes chaos. In a world driven by anxiety, restlessness, and noise, calm becomes powerful. Your calm is not passive, it is active grounding. It silently tells others that there is another way to exist, another pace to move at, another center to return to. Because your energy is honest, it creates reactions that are not always comfortable. Some people are drawn to you and want to be near you often. They feel understood without being analyzed, seen without being exposed. Others may feel challenged by you, even if you have done nothing outwardly. Your presence highlights inconsistencies. It brings awareness to places where people are out of alignment with themselves. Awareness can feel threatening to those who are not ready to face it. You might notice that people listen more closely when you speak, or that your words linger longer than expected. This is not because you speak more wisely than others, but because your energy supports your words. When energy and speech agree, they carry authority. Authority does not demand attention, it receives it naturally. Even disagreement with you often comes with an underlying respect, because people sense you are rooted, not reactive. There will be times when you are misunderstood precisely because you do not over-explain yourself. The world is accustomed to noise, justifications, and constant self-promotion. Silence rooted in confidence can confuse those who equate value with visibility. But restraint is not insecurity. It is discernment. You choose when to speak, where to engage, and how much to reveal. That selectiveness strengthens your presence rather than weakens it. Your energy also teaches without instruction. People around you may start reflecting more, speaking more honestly, or questioning patterns they once ignored. You may never know the full impact you have, because divine influence often works quietly. Seeds are planted without applause. Growth begins unseen. Just as roots grow in darkness before branches reach light, your influence works beneath the surface. You are not meant to carry everyone with you, and you are not meant to be accessible to all. Energy that is constantly available loses its clarity. Boundaries protect resonance. The more you honor your inner alignment, the stronger your presence becomes. This is why rest, solitude, and stillness are essential for you. They are not escapes, they are recalibrations. Remember that your presence is not a tool to control outcomes or manage perceptions. It is an expression of who you are becoming. As you continue to choose integrity over convenience, truth over comfort, and purpose over approval, your energy will remain unmistakable. Those who are meant to recognize you will feel it instantly. Those who are not will pass by. Both responses are part of divine order. Resistance and attraction often follow you at the same time, and this can be confusing until you understand what it truly means. When you carry a calling, your presence does not move neutrally through the world. It stirs something wherever it goes. Some people feel drawn to you almost immediately, sensing clarity, strength, or safety without being able to explain why. Others feel uncomfortable, guarded, or even irritated in your presence, despite having no logical reason. Both reactions come from the same source. Light does not just illuminate paths, it also exposes shadows. You are not meant to be universally liked, because universal approval requires dilution. If you softened your truth to fit every space, your presence would lose its power. The attraction you create is not about popularity, it is about recognition. Those who are aligned with growth, honesty, and purpose recognize something familiar in you. They see in you a version of themselves they are becoming or avoiding. That recognition pulls them closer. At the same time, those who are committed to comfort, avoidance, or illusion feel resistance, because your presence disrupts their inner agreement with those patterns. This is why you may experience sudden distance from people who once felt close, or unexpected tension in environments where you have said nothing wrong. Your presence challenges without confrontation. It asks questions without words. For some, those questions awaken courage. For others, they trigger defense. You are not responsible for how others answer what your presence asks of them. You are only responsible for remaining aligned with who you are called to be. At times, resistance may make you doubt yourself. You may wonder if you are too intense, too quiet, too different. But intensity is not volume, it is depth. And depth always creates contrast. Shallow waters never disturb a surface, but deep waters move currents beneath. You carry depth. That depth creates movement in others, whether they welcome it or not. Attraction, on the other hand, often comes quietly. People may seek your opinion, your company, or your silence. They may feel grounded around you, even when life feels unstable. This is because your presence carries steadiness. It is not reactive. It is not chaotic. It has learned to stand firm without needing control. Stability is rare and rarity attracts. Understand that both attraction and resistance are indicators, not obstacles. They reveal alignment and misalignment. When someone resists you, it is often because your presence threatens an identity they are trying to maintain. When someone is drawn to you, it is often because your presence affirms a truth they are ready to live. Neither response requires you to change yourself. Both require you to stay grounded. You are not called to explain yourself to every reaction. Over-explaining weakens authority. Silence, when chosen consciously, strengthens it. You are allowed to let people misunderstand you, if clarity would require you to abandon truth. Not every door is meant to open. Not every connection is meant to continue. As you grow, resistance may increase before it fades. This is natural. Light becomes more noticeable as it intensifies, but so does attraction. The more aligned you become, the fewer but deeper your connections will be. Quality replaces quantity. Recognition replaces approval. Purpose replaces performance. Trust the responses your presence creates. They are confirmations, not contradictions. Your path was never meant to be smooth. It was meant to be true. Stillness and alignment are what amplify your spiritual authority, even when everything around you demands noise and reaction. You have learned, often through pressure, that power does not come from constant movement or endless explanation. It comes from inner agreement with truth. When your inner world is settled, your outer presence becomes undeniable. People sense that you are not easily shaken, and that steadiness commands respect without asking for it. Stillness is not passivity. It is restraint guided by wisdom. You do not rush to respond to every provocation, nor do you feel the need to fill silence with words. This confuses those who equate activity with strength, but it reveals discernment to those who understand depth. When you choose stillness, you allow clarity to rise. Your responses become intentional rather than emotional. That intention gives your presence authority, because it is not driven by impulse. Alignment sharpens this authority even further. When your actions, values, and inner convictions agree, there is no internal conflict draining your energy. What you carry flows cleanly. People feel that congruence. They trust it, even if they cannot articulate why. Inconsistent energy creates doubt. Aligned energy creates confidence. This is why your presence feels solid. There is no fracture between who you are privately and who you are publicly. You may notice that in moments of pressure, others look to you, even unconsciously. Your calm becomes an anchor. Your silence becomes guidance, not because you have all the answers, but because you are not ruled by fear. Fear is loud. Alignment is quiet. And quiet confidence steadies those who are overwhelmed. Spiritual authority also means knowing when not to engage. Not every battle deserves your voice. Not every opinion requires your defense. You conserve energy by choosing alignment over reaction. This restraint protects your clarity and prevents dilution of your presence. People sense that you do not speak casually. When you do speak, your words carry weight because they are rare and considered. There were times when you felt overlooked because you did not compete for attention. But attention gained through force fades quickly. Authority gained through alignment endures. Over time, people begin to recognize that your consistency is not accidental. It is cultivated. It is maintained through discipline, reflection, and an unwavering commitment to truth. Stillness also allows you to listen more deeply. You hear what is not being said. You perceive undercurrents others ignore. This awareness strengthens your discernment and sharpens your decisions. You move less, but you move accurately. Precision always outperforms speed in the long run. As you remain aligned, your presence becomes a reference point. People measure their reactions against your calm. They sense that you are anchored somewhere deeper than circumstances. That depth cannot be faked. It can only be lived. This is why your presence continues to grow stronger, even when you appear to do less. You are not shrinking, you are refining. And refinement always increases influence. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.